They narrowed down their options to a lion, a wolf, and an orange. And in 1995, the orange prevailed, and Otto the Orange was born. The camera was loaded with 100 exposures. After the film was used, the photographer would mail the camera and $10 back to Kodak. There, the film was processed, printed, and the camera was reloaded with more film and sent back to the photographer along with the prints. While on the hunt for the best downtown suites, I found a story that was about more than just the treats. A lot of history has been made inside the walls of this dome, but I have a bit of history you might not know. For all you summer lovers, this October weather has been something that dreams are made of, and it will stay that way for the next couple days until later in this week when we'll see maybe some showers, a little colder weather, so you might need to bring out that umbrella. I'll have a more detailed weather report later in this episode, but until then, back to my ladies in the studio. The countdown to Christmas has begun, and here in Clinton Square, the joy of Christmas is everywhere. And though there might not be any skaters on the ice, with a little Christmas magic, we could turn this place from morning to night. Usher was just announced as the halftime performer for Super Bowl 58. Something that many people don't think about is who books the halftime show. Everything old is new again. Owner of Johnson Studio and Camera, Lydia Johnson, has seen film photography become a prime example of this age-old saying.
I would say it was probably about 6 years ago that we noticed a shift generationally of those customers that were coming to us asking for their film to be developed.
But to understand the significance of film's comeback, it's important to know the history of film photography. According to Kodak's website, in the late 1800s, George Eastman, the founder of Eastman Kodak Company, began experiments to create a flexible film roll and received a patent for that film roll in 1885. His next focus was to create a camera that could use this new roll. In 1888, Eastman did just that when he patented and released the first Kodak camera. The camera was loaded with 100 exposures. After the film was used, the photographer would mail the camera and $10 back to Kodak. There, the film was processed, printed, and the camera was reloaded with more film and sent back to the photographer along with the prints. Johnson knows this history firsthand as her grandfather started Johnson Studio over 70 years ago, and she says this new generation is on the hunt for this old medium.
We have grandparents that are feeling a little pressure from their grandchildren saying, hey, did you ever own one of these? And the giggles of, yeah, there's dust on it somewhere, maybe it's in the attic. And those old Nikons and Minoltas and Olympuses really being resurrected.
Johnson says one of the reasons young people are becoming more drawn to film photography is the idea that each picture holds more weight.
A roll of film, you know, typically packaged in a length of 24 exposures or 36 exposures, now there becomes a scarcity. So it becomes instantly essential that you make your decisions deliberately, deciding when you're going to click the shutter button.
Syracuse photography graduate student Syria Vaidi says in a digital world, it's nice to have a different form of photography that forces an ever-moving generation to slow down.
The physical object of film, you know, that's really cool and really, I think, impactful in and of itself to people. So we have so many digital things. When you can afford to have a physical thing, I think that's really cool.
Though film photography will always be in competition with digital, it's clear there is a newfound love for an old medium. Reporting from Syracuse, I'm Emily Coffey for NCC News.